Mais bonjour cette équipe. Pour ce 4e épisode, j'ai rencard pour un concert dans une église St Andrew Church au bord de la mer. Ce soir, le groupe Lejuki nous fait une session Music for Church. Et je rencontre Kassia, la chanteuse du groupe, pour m'expliquer quoi comment.
So I think that something you were interested in is Lejuki, which is the band which I think you're probably hearing in the background playing, which is me, Julian Arthur and Lee Westwood. And I think you were also interested in why we chose to do it in this church. So I guess there's nothing specific between Lejuki and St Andrew's Church. But this night, Music for Churches, is something that I've done a few times before, and it's using that beautiful church and the acoustics of that church and choosing things which will basically elevate the acoustics that are already in the church. So, which usually takes the form of, I've found, like probably not traditional bands that have really loud drum kits, because that seems to sound quite terrible unless this is the point. So it was another Music for Churches. And Lejuki definitely fits in that realm of music that would sound amazing in a church, because of things like bells and, you know, acoustic strings and kind of all the romantic notions that go with these sort of instruments. And also at the beginning, the cello, a kind of cello looped thing that Alice Eldridge put together as well. Why am I an artist? Why am I an artist? Well, I guess because I don't know what else I would do if I wasn't doing the things that I'm doing, apart from possibly might have wanted to be some sort of strange kind of psychotherapy person. But I didn't do that, so I went into doing music and arts and various kind of visual arts. Why am I an artist? Because that's kind of my obsession. So I kind of need to follow it, because I'm lucky enough to have an obsession and a kind of driving passion that forces me into pushing me into doing the things that I do. And so luckily I have that drive. So it's not really such an active thing. I'm just kind of following I'm following my impulse to do these things, which you probably want me to describe the things. The main things, I guess, are vocalist primarily, but also kind of multi-instrumentalist in that I love sound, so anything like that. That wasn't very good. That maybe sound that's everywhere, so I really enjoy playing instruments, probably in not necessarily a conventional way, because I'm not trained as such in any instrument. But my main instrument is vocals, so hence in Lejuki there's like lots and lots of harmonies, and vocal rhythms is kind of, the rhythm thing is really important for me. And yeah, because my other main project is Bunty looping, which is a vocal looping improvisation project. So that's very harmony heavy as well. And experimenting. I like experimenting.
Warts and all.
So BetaBet is an amazing platform for a group of, there's a group of core artists and musicians and sound artists and kind of theatre practitioners who magically all work together really, really well, as in there's no real politics that go on. Everyone kind of just has these clear sort of visions of something that they'd like to achieve, and everyone just kind of thrusts forwards to make those things happen in a pretty sort of dynamic and kind of easy, obviously it's hard work, but easy way that it all seems to work. Everyone seems to work together amazingly, which is a stroke of luck. And also there's a really important thing for BetaBet is this residency thing, which we do every year, which is basically a really amazing space in France where everyone can go and meet up and try out ideas or work on specific projects, record new music, which is highly collaborative. That's kind of the main crux of BetaBet, is that it's this highly collaborative way of making new work, whichever form it takes. We've done kind of interactive, strange installation stroke competitions, or curated, multidiscipline festivals, put on gigs, or the Meta Hub, which is, a massive thing to do with collaboration, but kind of international collaborations, started by this dude called Fred Manoy, who's an amazing man, who's had quite an impact on BetaBet, because some of the people that we all worked on a massive project called Brussels Meets Brighton, which was lots of Brussels artists and lots of Brighton artists meeting in a space and making these kind of exchanges, these communications through this idea of the Meta Hub to make work like in place, like in a reaction to the space that we were in, which was the shunt vaults. And so through that, some really key people have come together that are, integral parts of BetaBet. For instance, Metaluna, who are amazing projectionists and VJ sort of artists, visual artists. And I guess the Meta Hub for me, it really came into its own this for the White Night, where suddenly halfway through it became really vital that we all kept together, because there was these real technical issues that were happening where, it was kind of like, oh, Brussels, we've lost the connection with Brussels. Oh, Switzerland, can you hear me, Switzerland? And it kind of all became, as it started, I was like, okay, yeah, this is a cool idea, this is nice. But then towards the end of the improvisations, it sort of really came to life and started being quite a sort of powerful metaphor of these people kind of desperately trying to communicate with each other, through using technology to make something beautiful. And that to me, it really resonated when there was all the mess ups, because my role was basically, I was kind of like a commentator. I had a little like, Brussels, can you hear me, Brussels? Switzerland, can you hear me, Switzerland? So I was kind of communicating these things. And yeah.